It's now time for Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. It began as a podcast, went live on the net, and transformed into a full-blown empire. It's the only daily boxing talk show on the planet, hosted by the only guy with the balls to do it. Many have stepped into the ring. Many have tried to take the belt. And one by one, they've fallen. Another victim of the undisputed heavyweight champion of Boxing Talk Radio. Talkin' Boxing with Billy C is on now.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
Live from the Billy C Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for the Billy C Show. Good morning, good day, good evening. Whenever you listen, whenever you're watching, I hope you're doing all right today. Hope you're doing better than all right. I hope that today turns out to be the best day of your life. That's pretty heavy, right? Yeah. Could you imagine if today you woke up and as the day unfolds, it becomes the best day of your life? Well, I hope that happens to you today. I hope it happens to me. Who knows? If I had to think back of what, well, I guess I better get going. Today's show is being brought to you in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria, an Italian restaurant located on beautiful St. Simon's Island in Georgia. Check out the website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, or give my man a call, 912-268-2328, 912-268-2328, and find out why I go all the way to St. Simon's to get an authentic Italian meal. Plus, I like to see my man Sal, come on, and everybody else on the island, especially the Goyles. Oh, I didn't say that. Hey, today's show is also being brought to you in part by Turning Stone Resort and Casino and their next boxing event, which is taking place Saturday night. That's right. This weekend, I'm going to be ringside. I want you to be there too. Get yourself some tickets right now by visiting our website, www.billycboxing.com. Click on the Turning Stone fight poster, which you can't miss. It's on the right-hand side. And tell them you want the Billy C discount. Hey, if you're going to show up, drop me an email, billy@talkinboxing, TALKINBOXING.com. And maybe we'll hook up, have a drink. Hey, today's show is also being brought to you in part by my book. Tom Molino from Pondage, the Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now where all good books are sold. You can literally get a copy of it right now by visiting Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. If you're looking to get a signed copy, visit our website. But no, wait, because there's a special going on until the rest of the month because I screwed up. I got an extra box. Yes, not just an extra copy, not just an extra 10 copies, an extra box of books that I'm going to help you out. Hey, thinking of a Christmas gift to give that special sports person or anybody for that matter, get yourself a book. Just drop me an email. Now, don't do it through the website or anything else. Just drop me an email, billy@talkinboxing. That's TALKINBOXING.com. And as long as you are someplace in the U.S. of A., I will ship you a book signed for $20. Or 2 books for $40. You get the idea, right? You don't have to take your socks and shoes off to figure it out, right? We'll take advantage of my screw up. It's only good for this month. So several people have taken advantage. I wish several more would so I can make some room. What you see in this studio isn't the whole studio because the other half is my office that I'm happen to be staring at the 2 boxes right now. So anyway. Coming up on today's show, we are going to be talking about several things, maybe even open up the phone line. Programming note, and it's not a yellow sticky note, it's just a note that we won't be doing a live show tomorrow. Okay, don't even start writing oh man, you ruined my day, you did that. Things come up, man. Things come up. But we are going to do a show Monday. But, of course, and we'll be talking about the fights. And speaking of fights, there's a fight on tonight that I'm actually really psyched about. We'll get to that a little bit later. The card in up at Turning Stone is a fantastic card on HBO. Then we got another card going on in Jersey. My man Larry Hazard has got the final first leg of the Cruiserweight World Boxing Super Series. So a lot of stuff going on this weekend. But listen, today's topic, I got a bunch of stuff to talk about as the show goes on. But today's topic, Anthony Joshua against Carlos Takam. We talked about it the other day, and we talked about it again yesterday. And, there were some things going on. Last minute sub, if you have been under a rock in the boxing world for the last week, what has happened is Kubrat Pulev has injured himself. He hurt his widow soda, and he can't fight anymore. He can't fight for the fight next week. And they substituted Carlos Takam. Now, one of the moves that took place was that the promoter, Eddie Hearn, had signed Carlos Takam to be ready, willing, and able to step in the event that something like this happened. Now, he did offer him some money, but he was also going to put him on a card. I don't know if it was the following week or the week after. So it wasn't just to, work out and be ready. But I thought it was a very smart move. And Anthony Joshua has been in the press explaining how hard this fight is going to be and how important, and that he feels that he's in a must-win situation, and he also feels that Carlos Takam is in a must-win situation. My question today is, can Carlos Takam win this fight? Can he win this fight? I think Anthony Joshua is the best heavyweight on the planet. Can Carlos Takam upset the apple cart and win this fight? Joining me right now, I want to get his thoughts, is my man Sal Rocky Senecola. Can Carlos Takam win this fight, Sal?
Absolutely. He's got a chance. I mean, everybody stepping in that square circle. That's what I've always professed, Bill. Any given night, you just don't know how the stars align, what's going on. Things can happen. 90% of the time, we could see, no, maybe not 90, but we could see black and white on paper who should win and how they should win. But, we don't know the other variables going into the ring. And, right now, I think on paper, it looks like Anthony Joshua should be able to soundly defeat Carlos Takam. But, like I said, that's what it looks like on the surface. Anthony Joshua may be even touting out some rhetoric to make it a little more interesting. I'm sure he's going to have enough time to prepare for the style of Takam and everything else. And we're going to have to just see in the days to come.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh,
come on.
Man,
that was
too
bad.
early. I need a coffee. No, he's got a chance. This guy's got a chance. Everybody's got a chance. And I'll tell you what. I know you love Anthony Joshua. I love Anthony Joshua for what he stands for and how he fights. And he always comes to the fight, and he's not ducking anybody. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Whether you believe me or not, or like what I'm going to say or not, but I think Klitschko put some naysayers with his fight against Anthony Joshua, room for concern or to see and to test. And I think even though he passed that test, he came back, you could see where he was a little bit caught off guard by his lack of conditioning after he blew it all in that fifth round trying to knock out Klitschko. And he did come back. He's got good recuperative powers. He did take a shot. So those questions were answered. We don't know what else in this fighter's young career of just about 20 fights or just a little less that might be prevalent in the next fight or two. But like I said, on paper, he's going to win. He should win. He should do it dominantly or convincingly. But we don't know what's in each other's hearts and fighters' minds going into that ring that night. And Takam does have a chance, so we cannot just count him out yet.
Well, it's funny you mention. It's funny you mention that there's some naysayers about Anthony Joshua because it came up to me. Let's see, what's today? It came up to me not yesterday, but the day before, and that's exactly what this guy says. He says, "Oh yeah, well, I said, oh, Anthony Joshua, he's my guy. He's the heavyweight, best heavyweight." And he goes, "Well, he's got a weak chin." And I went, what? What do you mean he's got a weak chin? Well, he's been dropped. He's been this. He's been that. And I said, he was dropped by Vladimir Klitschko. I mean, Klitschko would kill any of us, with one punch. But he got up. Listen, anybody can get dropped from anyone else if the punch is landed perfectly. There's a button. Exactly. I remember a teacher dropped me once with two hands. He hit me under the chin. It totally caught me. Anyway, that's when teachers were allowed to, I guess.
You'd be a millionaire today.
Exactly. I wish I could go back in time. But I think, and you make another point. You said he learned his lesson, not conditioned. I think it was reverse. I think it was over conditioned. I think when you have that much muscle mass and you run out of gas. Something along the lines, and I'm not an expert on this by any means, but something along the lines of that muscle drains the oxygen from your body, and it takes you a little bit to recoup. But I think because he was in such good shape and because of his age, he was able to recoup. Any other fighter may not have been able to recuperate from his exhaust. I mean, he was exhausted. But the question is, can Carlos Takam win this fight? And I think that he's bringing what he brings to this fight, first of all, aside from the desire and wanting to take advantage of the opportunity that has fallen into his lap. What he brings to this fight, I mean, he does have punching power. Granted, it hasn't been displayed against some big names or what have you. But what he brings, I think. The drastic change in preparation for Anthony Joshua in the height factor. I think that is going to play into this more than you would expect. If all the sparring partners were brought in for Anthony Joshua to emulate Kubrat Pulev and his size, his style, the way he fights, etc., and then all of a sudden a week out, 10 days out, now he's fighting a guy that's going to be a half a foot shorter, fights a different style, does have some pop. We would assume that he's going to want to get on the inside of Anthony Joshua, maybe try and catch him, work the body, maybe catch him with uppercuts, something like that. I think that changes. My question for you from a fighter perspective, the mental aspect, how does that affect the fighter? When all of a sudden, you go to the gym and maybe you didn't hear about it. You get to the gym and your trainer's there and says, hey, by the way, Anthony, we have a change in plans. You're not fighting a 6'4" guy anymore, 6'5" guy. You're fighting a 6'1" guy. And, we brought in Joe Schmo here. He's 6'1". We're going to start sparring with him. The game plan might have to change. I mean, do they change the game plan? I mean, what goes on in a fighter's mind when you hear this less than 10 days out?
I'm having emotional recall the same situations that did happen to me sometimes, and I'll tell you what, it's very frustrating for a fighter to hear those words and to know that just a week or two out. And but if you're a well-rounded pro, you suck it up and you just try to change gears and you look at what you're going to have to do a little differently. Yeah, I'll tell you what, that does get to his head. And that's maybe why Anthony Joshua, I don't know why he wants to, tell the press everything that he's saying, unless it's just rhetoric he wants to pump out there to make things exciting. But, if I'm fighting a guy, it would be like that. If I was going to fight like I was preparing for Kenny Bazemore, who was tall and thin, and I loved fighting taller guys because it gave me all that body to feint upstairs and boom, go downstairs and work up and get inside like a buzzsaw. And that's exactly, like a style that I would prepare for. And, and then all of a sudden, if I have to fight a shorter guy, I had more difficulty fighting a guy my size or shorter at times because they would be trying to do the same thing in me. So, you know what? I think that Anthony Joshua is looking at this point of time that, well, instead of looking just to move my head and slide and slip and throw my jab and counter here, I might have to worry about a buzzsaw coming in at me with a little more speed, moving his head, coming in and trying to get inside my body. And like I said, it's a fix you do just for it. But still, in his mind, okay, I was fighting one guy one day, and now I got to train for another guy this day. So it does get into your mind. He just play a little bit. But like I said, he's a world-class pro. He's well-rounded. He should be able to make the proper adjustments where he can adapt, and he will be ready for this Carlos Takam. But I think Takam's got his chance of a lifetime, obviously. And as I said, his style should be that, just getting on the inside of that big, heavy arms that are going to come at his way, and to nullify the power by getting either close or staying further away. That's how you nullify a puncher like that. You try to stay out of the distance of the range and hit from the outside and work in, or you get inside where he doesn't have the distance to explode and let those punches fly. So that's his style. He's got to go in and out, move his head, be the smaller fighter, but let his smaller size, work to his advantage. That's his style. That's what he should be doing.
What he should be doing is getting all his affairs in order, because I don't think he stands a chance. I mean, honestly, Sal,
I'm trying to make it more exciting.
I know, but honestly, I mean, and I had somebody tell me that they felt that Takam could beat Pulov. And feels that this is actually a tougher fight for Anthony Joshua. I think AJ is going to destroy him. But then again, I thought AJ was going to destroy Pulov. I really don't think that there's a heavyweight out there today, right now, that's at least ranked in the top 15 via the computer, because that's the only realistic rankings that could give Anthony Joshua much of a challenge. I mean, if you want to give Deontay Wilder, an asterisk because of his punching power, yes. Deontay Wilder, because of his power, could definitely knock out Anthony Joshua. I mean, Klitschko, we saw the Klitschko dropped him. I'm not saying that Deontay Wilder has the same pop as Klitschko. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. He hasn't been in there with tough enough opposition to really showcase us that. I mean, he has been in there with some guys that he should have taken out very quickly, and he couldn't, which makes me wonder how much punching power he does have. As a matter of fact, he had that video that's all around where he couldn't even take out a guy that was about 170 pounds in the gym. I mean, he hit this guy flush half a dozen times, and the guy didn't even go down. But so I don't know. But my question to you here is, what did you hear that Anthony Joshua was saying to the press that would make you say maybe he's just trying to hype the fight? What did you hear that he said?
I just I panned some of the sports news, and I caught some articles that Anthony Joshua was saying, well, this could be a difficult fight for me, or this could be I've got to change my whole game plan. And, like I said, he's trying to promote what is the obvious, that it's a different style fight, a different size fighter, and his preparation now has to change gears. And with a little time online to do so, I think Anthony Joshua was just trying to... Hey,
Sal, are you choking, or are you pulling a what's his name from the Giants? A Beckman, an Odell Beckham. Are you crying?
Joking.
Are you getting cried?
I was trying to suppress my cough. I'm having a hard time doing it.
Okay,
Bill.
let it out, brother.
Let me do that.
Let it out, brother. Let it out. Have a sip of coffee.
That was one of the most painful things I ever had to do. I was trying to suppress that cough, and I'm gagging, choking, and.
Odell Beckham Jr. did not try to suppress his tears when he got hurt, because he cried like a little baby. But anyway, finish what you were telling us now that you can speak clearly, Sal.
Thank you. I feel a lot better now, Bill. I think that Anthony Joshua was just trying to.
What are you getting all? You getting all?
No. let me take three.
I'm laughing because it's
you
like
you like this.
Yeah. I do. I like having.
My voice is cracking all over the place. So I'm having a good time. No, I think really Anthony Joshua was just letting everybody know that he's got to change his fight plan. He's got to adapt to a new style, and And like I said, he's just feeding into the obvious, which maybe, he likes to do the hype. He likes to maybe bring some more drama to it. And why not? It's his fight, and he either feels very confident that it's not going to make one iota of difference, and he's just going to go in there and pummel this guy and get rid of him faster than he would have Pulov, or he's going to, like I said, prepare it a little differently and change his gears and say, hey, now I don't know what I'm going to have coming at me. All of a sudden, I was preparing all these weeks for this style, and now I got to prepare for another style. So I think he was just promoting that and letting everybody know that he's doing his best. It's going to be a close fight, or it's going to be closer than what people imagine. This guy could be dangerous. That's what he was trying to get out there, and that's what I saw in the article that I read.
Interesting point that they're making in the in the chat room, and if you're watching or listening from on TV or on a stream or on the radio, remember we respond to the chat room that's up on BillyCBoxing.com. An interesting comment. They said that at least this clears the mandatory for Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua said at least this clears the mandatory title defense for the IBF. Now remember he's got several titles, but which raises an interesting question. Here's a guy in Kubrat Pulev who's been the mandatory guy for quite some time. As a matter of fact, he got paid step-aside money so AJ could fight Klitschko. And he was also going to wait patiently should Klitschko had decided to give AJ the rematch. So obviously now, Klitschko didn't take the rematch, so he was cleared to fight the mandatory, which was Pulev. Pulev gets injured. By IBF rules, they take the next available highest-ranking contender, which was Carlos Takam. And now it appears that, should AJ get by Takam, that's he satisfies the IBF and the mandatory. What happens to Pulev? I mean, he did make probably a chunk of money, probably life-altering money for me anyway, twice when he got paid step-aside money. So where does that leave Pulev? Does he have to climb the ranks again? Is the IBF going to force AJ to fight Pulev now after this fight in another, whatever their rules require,
6 months,
6
maybe?
or 9? Yeah, some of them now are 9. So who knows? What do you think?
I think that's a great point. And like I said, you've got the smartest group of people in your chat room following the world of boxing. And, just to look at the insight of that happening and that being, part of the strategy and part of the correlation and the agenda of what's going to have to come down, I think it makes a great point. And, Pulev has made a comfortable living over the last year or two, probably getting some step-aside money.
Well, he hasn't been fighting. He hasn't been fighting in the ring,
He hasn't been fighting in the ring, but I'll tell you what. I think that that's a great question because, even though they're going to satisfy this first mandatory, another 6 to 9 months, Pulev's going to probably, I don't know if he's going to have to work his way back up, but I'm sure he might have to fight, especially test his own shoulder. Somewhere in between in the mix, and he should he, get by and do his thing, I'm sure he's going to be promoted back right up to number 1. We'll see. So I think that fight could still happen, and I think we're going to have to now look for it to happen in the middle to the end of next year, if both fighters are still in their exact positions as where they are today.
The truth of the matter is nobody wants to see the fight anyway. Nobody wants to see the fight that's going to take place. Everybody wants to see Deontay Wilder against AJ.
Yes, you are correct.
So I mean, that's the key fight here. But anyway, in a nutshell, Sal thinks that Carlos Takam has a chance.
He has a chance.
Just like anybody else has a chance of landing a punch. I am not even being that kind. I don't think Carlos
landing
Takam,
on the moon.
I don't think Carlos Takam has a chance. I think that maybe if this fight goes a little longer than expected, it's only because of the adjustment. But AJ is just too talented. I don't think he's going to get caught. I don't think that this guy takes anybody lightly. And I think he'll be prepared, even though he only had a couple of days, in a sense, to do so. Hold that thought. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, I'll finish up on that. I got some other sports news. I got some emails to read. I got an update on the David Lemieux, Billy Joe Saunders fight. All of that coming up in 2.
Billy C will be right back.
Stop. Living with hair loss, that is. Losing your hair is no fun, and no one wants to be bald, but there is hope.
Getting my hair back was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm happy with the way I look now.
I'm very excited about my hair.
I feel beautiful.
I love my hair.
Hair Club offers all proven hair loss solutions backed by our commitment to satisfaction guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied with the solution you choose, Hair Club will apply the purchase price to another proven hair loss solution or transplant more hair at no charge.
And it was the best thing I've ever done.
It looks good on me.
Call in the next 5 minutes to get your free brochure at no obligation. It will tell you everything you need to know about your hair loss problem, and it's free if you call now.
I am more pleased than what I had even imagined.
I at least look, I would say, 5 years younger.
I'm 52, and I look better now than I did when I was in my 40s.
I feel great.
And that's not all. The first 100 people who call will also receive $250 off any hair loss solution from Hair Club. Call now.
Broken air conditioning, $4,400. Failing refrigerator, $2,500. Don't let outrageous repair and replacement bills like these bust your budget. Get the First American Home Warranty Plan. And when a covered appliance or system breaks, we'll repair it or replace it for you.
We had a high-end dishwasher go kaput. They put it in a brand new dishwasher.
We have plans that cover air conditioning, most appliances, plus heating, plumbing, systems, and much more. Plans start as low as $25 a month. Why let a major appliance or system breakdown bust your budget or go through the hassle of finding trustworthy service people? Last year alone, we saved our customers over $120 million. Don't wait until something breaks and you're stuck with a huge bill.
You save a lot of money. It's absolutely worth it.
If you don't have First American Warranty, get it.
Call 1-800-946-6234 for your free no-obligation quote.
This is important news for women using birth control medications and devices. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with a pseudotumor after using one of these birth control drugs or devices, you may be eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Contact the law firm of Davis & Crump right now if you or a loved one have used one of these birth control medications or devices and were diagnosed with a pseudotumor to see if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you!
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to the Billy C Show. Glad you could be with us. And speaking of being with at least me anyway, come on up to the Turning Stone Resort and Casino this weekend. HBO is putting on an event, and I'm going to be ringside, so you should come too, man. You know, I'll be there, so you be there. Get yourself some tickets by visiting our website, BillyCBoxing.com. And click on the Turning Stone banner. I'm here with Sal Rocky Senecola. And, I'm not giving Takam any kind of a shot. I just think that AJ is too good, Sal. And what I love about this guy is that, he seems to be a sponge for learning new things. and taking on challenges and challenging himself. And I really believe that this last minute opponent change is going to be presented to him, or at least he's going to take it as a challenge. And I think he is, as you say all the time, will rise to the occasion. And I think he's going to put on, as Triple G would say, a big drama show and take care of Takam convincingly. I don't see Takam making it to the final bell in this fight. As a matter of fact, I'd be shocked if it goes 10 rounds.
Well, I'll tell you what. I understand where you're coming from, and I do think this could be part of what Anthony Joshua wants to leave behind as far as his legacy, his time in the ring, as is his ability to be, like you said, get better and improve what everything he could be, that sponge to learn about boxing. And I think he is that type of fighter. I think, he is the real deal. I think he is genuine. I think he has the power. He has what it takes. He has the tools, obviously. And I think he's going to be one of the best out there. He's got all those indicators right now that he's showing us at this early stage in his career. And, to think he can sustain, a championship for years, or like a Klitschko, I don't know about that. But we'll see what he takes from the game and what he gives to the game. But he is a warrior. He loves to challenge himself. He will not duck anybody. He's everything we want for representing the heavyweight champion of the world. So I'm very, very glad that he is the heavyweight champion of the world right now. He's boxing his ambassador, if you will. He does it right. He tries to represent boxing in a great fashion. And so I am excited about him. But I will tell you, I think Takam, even though he may come up short, a couple inches. But I think he will have his moments. I think the fight is just not going to be a laydown for Anthony Joshua, but I think Takam will have some moments in there where you're going to say, wow. So we'll see. He's got his light. He's got this chance. This is Takam's chance. His chance that every fighter steps into the ring one day hoping and praying that they are going to get a title shot. And this is his opportunity to take it. And like I said, he's been preparing all along for this. And how do you think that feels emotionally? Here he goes. Well, I'm preparing just in case something happens. I'm gonna get it. And then wow, that phone call rings. Oh my gosh, I got my shot. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna destroy. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna show what I can do. So I think he's got that potential element of surprise that he's been preparing for. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, well, I think he's got as much of a chance as McGregor had to beat Floyd Mayweather. But anyway,
there was no chance there. No chance, Bill. No chance. Is that what you're trying to say, Bill? There was no chance.
There's no chance. Well, I've said that before, and I've been wrong. As a matter of fact, I recently said that the Yankees had no chance of beating the Astros. And in the ALCS, the Yankees make it winning 3 in a row. They beat up the Astros yesterday, and arguably the best pitcher that the Astros have thrown, no pun intended, at the Yankees. The Yankees won 5-0, 3 in a row. The Yankees came back from a 2-0 deficit in this series to take a 3-2 game lead. Now this series goes back to Houston, where the Yankees just have to win one of the 2 games to land themselves a ticket into the World Series. Now, who are they going to play? Well, it looked pretty much as a layup. If they get in, who would they play? It looked like a layup for the Dodgers, who happen to be my second favorite baseball team. But the Dodgers weren't, whether they were or whether they weren't, expecting the Cubs to just lay down and give them an easy path to the World Series. The Cubs had a different idea because yesterday the Cubs beat the Dodgers 3-2 to stay alive. The Dodgers still convincingly lead that series 3-1, but now the Cubs are alive for at least another game. So NLCS, Cubs beat the Dodgers 3-2. Dodgers have a 3-1 lead. The ALCS, the Yankees shut out the Astros 5-0 to take a 3-2 game lead in Major League Baseball. Yes, Sal, you have something to comment on?
Sorry, Bill, was it obvious? I raised my hand. Please, teacher, could I be called on? I'm sitting in the front row here. Bill, I don't know how many boxing fans we have out there. I mean, baseball fans. That begins with a B too, right? I love baseball. Growing up, you in the tri-state area, you dream of, can I play in Yankee Stadium one day? Will I be a Mickey Mantle? Can I do this? Can I do that? I mean, it's just part of the idolization of what baseball represents as a young kid and when you first walk into Yankee Stadium. So, yes, I'm going to borrow Curtis Sliwa's line. I do bleed pinstripes, and I love the Yankees. They've been my lifelong, heartfelt team forever, ingrained in my soul. I love the Yankees.
Good for you.
And
good for you. I hate them. I hate the Yankees.
But the way they come back like fighters, they won the wild card, and they came back against Cleveland, who was a tough team, and they had a 2-0 deficit there, and they came back. And in a shorter series of 5 games. Now they're coming back now. Now, I hope I don't shoot myself in the foot and they drop this, but it is going to be such a great story if these guys can go into this game against Houston tomorrow and then win this pennant for the ALCS. And then how do you like that? Face one of these great teams in a World Series and possibly get their, would it be their 28th World Series victory? I'm not sure.
Yes, unfortunately, yes. And
I love it. Go Yankees!
The Yankees have forced at least one more game, possibly 2. So, I mean, just remember, the Yankees are in the driver's seat. At this point, all they got to do is win one of the 2 games in Houston. So the odds are with the Yankees. Now, I mean, somebody else could just turn around and say, well, if Houston wins tomorrow night, then it's a 1-game series. It becomes a 1-game series. Who has the edge? It all depends on who the Astros would pitch. There was rumor that they were going to pitch the same guy that they pitched last night. How do you say his name? Not Kettleman, Keeler or whatever. They were talking about possibly pitching him again or splitting it with him and someone else or having him as a reliever. I know Verlander's scheduled to pitch tomorrow, so that would actually give the starting pitcher. What is it, Kettle? What's his name? Kettleman? Kittle? You don't even know. Yeah, you're a big Yankees fan. You don't even know. I'm a Mets fan. I despise the Yankees, and you're bragging about how big of a Yankee fan. And you don't even know the pitcher's name from last night. Come on, man. Come on. Whatever. But the point is that he's going to get another day of rest. They're going to pitch Verlander tomorrow night, Astros against the Yankees, and theoretically, if the Astros pull it out and force a Game 7. They could go back to their number 1 pitcher, at least get half a game. I don't know, but
no, that's it, Bill. And it's so funny what you're saying. There is strategy with baseball and managing, and you take all these variables. It's just like there's strategy for each, the National League and the American League, where they come to the designated hitter, and that's what I love about baseball. It's not just, hey, let's go hit a home run, let's stop it out, let's do this, let's do that. You think about these guys, they play over 160 games in a season, and there's a constant ebb and flow. You have these short 3-game series over a weekend or 4 games or this and that, and as long as they stay in the contendership towards the end, and they're lucky enough. But this is what I love October about. This is the October. This is the month that it all happens. These teams have to come together, and actually they have to gel, and they have to put it together. They have to rise to the occasion, and they have to fire on all pistons to see who could be the best team. Now's the time they put it on. So when you're looking at training, you're looking at going through the season, 160 plus games, and then all of a sudden you got 1 month to show it all, to come together, to play as champions, to think as champions. That's what it's all together, and that's what it's all about. And that's what the Yankees are showing right now. And I hope, like I said, I just hope they continue. They're coming together. They're firing it up. Their bats are alive. Their pitching's alive. And it's what they call a peak performance. Now that maybe they're peaking. This is the whole thing. This is the whole season. It's a long season. But now they are firing, and they're peaking out right now.
Yeah. Let me ask you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. How the Mets doing?
Let me ask you one Let me ask you one question.
I don't do.
Did you watch the game? Did you at least watch the game yesterday? No, you didn't. I know you
I had
didn't.
it out on my TV.
Yeah,
You saw that
I know
big
you
TV?
didn't.
We showed the fight with the
that's-
farce with Mayweather. I had a TV similar in size, and still looking for the perfect TV for my place. But yeah, we watch it, and you know what? I'll tell you what. I hope I didn't make anybody upset last night because I was touting my Yankees, and every time they scored, every time something happened big, I was letting everybody know how much of a Yankee fan I was. And I am Sam.
I'm so sick of talking about the Yankees right now. I'm hitting the mute
sorry,
button.
this is a fight game.
I'm hitting the mute button on you, and we're going to take a short break. So don't go anywhere.
Billy C will be right back.
Broken air conditioning, $4,400. Failing refrigerator, $2,500. Don't let outrageous repair and replacement bills like these bust your budget. Get the First American Home Warranty Plan. And when a covered appliance or system breaks, we'll repair it or replace it for you.
We had a high-end dishwasher go kaput. They put it in a brand new dishwasher.
We have plans that cover air conditioning, most appliances, plus heating, plumbing, electrical systems, and much more. Plans start as low as $25 a month. Why let a major appliance or system breakdown bust your budget or go through the hassle of finding trustworthy service people? Last year alone, we saved our customers over $120 million. Don't wait until something breaks and you're stuck with a huge bill.
You save a lot of money. It's absolutely worth it.
If you don't have First American Warranty, get it.
Call 1-800-946-6234 for your free no-obligation quote.
This is important news for people who had a hip replacement and then had to have additional surgery as the result of a faulty hip implant or were diagnosed with high levels of metal in the blood, known as metallosis. You may have a right to a cash award and medical expenses. If you have been diagnosed with high levels of metal in your blood or have required more surgery because of hip implant failure, call the law offices of Davis & Crump right now. Our first consultation is free and we don't get paid unless you get paid. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Stop living with hair loss, that is. Losing your hair is no fun and no one wants to be bald, but there is hope.
Getting my hair back was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm happy with the way I look now. I'm very excited about my hair.
I feel beautiful.
I love my hair.
Hair Club offers all proven hair loss solutions backed by our commitment to satisfaction guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied with the solution you choose, Hair Club will apply the purchase price to another proven hair loss solution or transplant more hair at no charge.
It was the best thing I've ever done.
It looks good on me.
Call in the next 5 minutes to get your free brochure at no obligation. It will tell you everything you need to know about your hair loss problem, and it's free if you call now.
I am more pleased than what I had even imagined.
I at least look, I would say, 5 years younger.
I'm 52, and I look better now than I did when I was in my 40s.
I feel great.
And that's not all. The first 100 people who call will also receive $250 off any hair loss solution from Hair Club. Call now.
If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us. And before we went on break, I was throwing up, talking about the Yankees. But let me just get you caught up on the other two sports that happen to be going on right now. In the NBA, the Wizards beat the 76ers 120-115. Pistons over the Hornets 102-90. The Pacers beat my Nets 140-131. A lot of points in that game. Magic 116 over the Heat 109. The Bucks beat the Celtics 108-100. Grizzlies over the Pelicans 103-91. Hawks over the Mavericks 117-111. The Jazz beat the Nuggets 106-96. The Spurs topped the Timberwolves 107-99. The Trailblazers 124 over the Suns 76. What a rout that was. And the Rockets beat the Kings 105-100. And in NHL, the Maple Leafs beat the Red Wings 6-3. Blues over the Blackhawks 5-2. And the Kings beat the Canadiens 5-1. This is an interesting time of year when all the major sports are going on at once. So it's kind of crazy. But we got some emails to read, Sal, so let's get going with that. First and foremost, Jesse says, hey, Billy C. and Sal, how you guys think Ricky Hatton is as a trainer? Ryan versus Zanat should be good. How do you see this fight playing out? Will it be lots of exchanges? Yeah, I think that fight will be an action-packed fight. And I actually think it's a 50-50 fight, so I haven't even broken it down to give you my official prediction. But as far as Ricky Hatton as a trainer, that's an interesting question because, one of the things, first of all, I was a big fan of Ricky Hatton when he was a fighter. I loved, the way Ricky fought and the fans. I loved his entrance. I loved everything about Ricky Hatton except for one thing. Ricky Hatton used to balloon up in between fights. And a lot of his training camp was spent and dedicated to conditioning and getting back in shape and, making weight. I would like to see him, if he was a trainer, to use that and understand that that was a mistake that he made while he was fighting. And I think that I would like to see him emphasize that staying in good shape all the time during your career while you're an active professional, like him or not. And you guys know I can't stand Floyd Mayweather, but the credit that you have to give Floyd is that was always in good shape. I mean, the guy took care of himself, and when he finally would step in the ring, his training camps were always dedicated to his game plan. He never really had a focus on weight loss and everything else because he was always within a few pounds of his fighting weight. Ricky Hatton, no weight. I mean, I'll never forget the fight that, they were calling him Fatty Hatton, and he came out in a fat suit. Which was pretty funny. But as a trainer, I don't know. I think he's a decent promoter. But what do you think, Sal?
I haven't seen him utilize his training ability or skills thus far at this point. But I will pay attention and see. And as you said, when you're a fighter, that was what all the trainers professed to me, from Don Turner, Richie Giacchetti, and Johnny Torres, and Ali Stoltz, all these guys. They would always say, Sal, you got to always keep in shape. You live the life of a fighter, and be ready, because you never know when that phone's going to ring. You got to be ready to turn on the dime. And so you live that life. And let me tell you, Bill, it's really not that difficult. Like I said, when Chicky Ferraro would tell me, hey, Sal, you're a commodity. You only have a few shorter years to dedicate your life, and then it's all over. Because once you're gone, we get a new commodity. And, when you think about it, how long is a fighter's career on average? 6 years, 8 years? I don't know. But the bottom line is you've got to be able to dedicate your life and live clean, live good, and I'm not saying don't eat a hamburger or take a beer here, but the bottom line is you are a professional athlete. You're a professional fighter. You don't have a season like other sports. You've got to be ready throughout the whole year to be able to get in shape in just a few short weeks. And one of the things you shouldn't have to worry about is making weight. And that is due to, your lifestyle, how you choose to live and what you choose to use as the fuel for your body. And that's it. That's what I used to have to adapt to. What am I going to benefit from? How am I going to eat this, and what's it going to do to me? That was my psyche, my thing, how I made it. So everybody's got their own way of doing things. But yes, Bill, to answer your short question with a shorter answer, yes, keep
Well, I'm going to keep the camera on you, Sal, because we just lost power here in good old Lake George, New York. So I'm going to keep the camera shot on you because My camera shot, as you see right now, is in the dark. So hopefully we'll get that back. But thankfully for our UPS system, we shall continue. At least we got a couple of minutes. So if we abruptly end the show, boys and girls, it's because we didn't get power back quick enough. But going on with the email, he says, Billy C., are you going to watch the fights? He said tomorrow because he sent me the email yesterday. And he says he's got Rosado over Tapia. I am going to be breaking down that fight here in a few moments if the show continues. Like I said, we will see. We don't have much time to move forward here without the good old power coming back. But it's one thing I hate about living in this friggin' place. We lose power. And I got news for you. Before this happened, everybody saw all the sun that was shining through the studio windows here. There was so much. The sun is. There's not even a breeze out there. You know, a bird must have landed on the friggin' power lines or some shit. I can't stand losing the fucking power like we do here. I can't stand it. But anyway, he says I think if Saluki wins on Saturday, he deserves another top guy, maybe Julian Williams or Liam Smith, so he can get a shot at Charlo, Hurd, or Andrade. You know, Demetrius Andrade, in my opinion, is the best light junior middleweight out there, and that's the guy that Charlo brothers should, or at least the one that's still in the junior middleweight division, should be fighting. How come nobody's ever looking to fight him? You know, but anyway, you know, I tell you something. I hate to speed this show up here, Sal, but it's not looking good that we're going to get power back here. Usually it comes right back on. So let me try to get this other email before we lose it all here. He says,
yes,
this one's from Joel. He says there's talk around Russia that Denis Ledebev will get look to his next fight for former UFC fighter and MMA veteran Fabio Maldonado in a boxing fight. Fabio has recently been fighting for MMA promotion in Russia, and I guess that's why Ledebev would call him out, because he's recognizable to the Russian public who's following. Interestingly, he says Fabio is 25-0 as a pro, but against very low opposition. Do you think this is an acceptable fight, or would you labor it closer to a Mayweather McGregor? I mean, Fabio does have some fights as a pro, but he's more known for MMA. I don't think the Russian Boxing Commission should let this fight happen. But everything is about money today. He says, your and Sal's thoughts on this, please. First of all, Russia doesn't do anything on the up and up. This guy Fabio is 25-0, 24 knockouts. He's only fought 47 rounds against bums. 37 years old. He's ranked number 224 in the heavyweight division. His last fight was in April. You can count on this fight to happen if they wanted to. Russia doesn't follow any kind of strict rules. But anyway, hey, listen, I have another email. This one's from Jeff, which I'm going to have to put on hold, and we'll have to pick that up when we come back on Monday. Unfortunately, I'm about to lose even our backup power here, boys and girls. So abruptly, I am going to have to pack it in for the show, and I apologize for that. But like I said, as you can see, which I'll let you see right now, our good old Billy C is sitting in the dark. And thanks to our UPS system, we're able to at least finish this show on our terms. So no show tomorrow, but make sure you tune in Monday morning. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, enjoy your weekend, enjoy the fights, and I'll leave you with this. Ciao, baby.